Hare Krishna, welcome to Transcendental Thursday Special Association. Secret of Happiness. $1 billion question. Let us understand through this particular session. Before we start, to understand the secret of happiness, let us pray to the Almighty to make us understand what the secret is and follow the secret recipe and to be happy. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome back once again to Transcendental Thursday, Secret of Happiness. Secret is very simple. आपके पैकेज में है तो मिलेगा, नहीं है तो नहीं मिलेगा. Now, what is this package? In other words, karma. Based on your actions, based on karma, you get happiness or distress. I'm talking about material happiness and material distress. But the real happiness is beyond material happiness and distress. That is transcendental happiness. To get that happiness, you have to go beyond this principles of karma, where the principles of karma doesn't act upon you. And that is transcendental devotional service. When renders unalloyed, pure, transcendental devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master like Swami Prabhupada, then one starts experiencing unlimited, uninterrupted, everlasting happiness and bliss. This is a secret, and that secret remedy is to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. Now, this is a secret which all of us know, but we should understand the intricacies of karma. Being in touch with folk, attending these sessions, we by and large know the principles of karma, but nevertheless, for the audience who are freshly joining or watching it on YouTube, I'll just briefly touch over the principles of karma. Karma basically means an action. As Newton's third law of motion says, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The reaction may be favorable, liked, appreciated, loved, or the other way around. It will be having a reaction. Now, reaction may be instantaneous, may be delayed by a minute, an hour, or a day, or a week, or a month, or a lifetime, or a many lifetimes. That's why we feel that मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, still, why am I going through what I'm going through? This is because of my previous lifetime's actions. Law of karma has papa karma and punya karma. Papa karma means an action which is against the tenets of the established norm and constitution. If you go against it, the reaction will be painful, difficulties, challenges. Punya karma means, or karma means, a regulated action, prescribed action, authorized actions. When you perform the tenets of the constitution or the book or follow the guidelines, then as ideal citizens, you get protected and revered by the government, respected by the government, and you will be taken care. On the contrary, when you break the law, like in other words, papa karma, you will be protected by the government in a different way. We will be put behind bars and will be treated accordingly. So papa karma has its consequences and punya karma has its consequences. Now how does it? It has in 3 platforms: kutam, bijam, phalonmukam. Kutam means an action. Action can be wrong action or a right action. And bijam means that turns into a seed, and that seed can fructify, as I said, in a second, in a moment, in an hour, in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, in a lifetime or many lifetimes. That time lag may vary based on the action what you perform. That's why we don't understand this fellow has not done any mischievous activity or not any sinful activity per se, but still he's going through troubles and pains and situations like this. That means in his previous lifetimes he would have done. So that phala which he had planted, maybe other lifetimes, he's bearing it right now. Now, as a transcendental person, who is engaged in devotional service, beginning from chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this is the art of work. This is the art of karma, cancelling. That is called bhakti or devotional service. Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhaja. This karma gets burnt when you perform devotional service, starting from Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Archanam, Dasyam, Atma Nivedanam, and 9 devotional processes that burns the seeds. Just like if you take a seed, burn it or roast it, then plant it in a soil with sufficient manure and pour it sufficient water, it will not fructify no matter whatever you try to do it to get it germinated, right? Similarly, when we perform transcendental devotional service with the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, the seed of our past sinful activities, which may be in a bija state or Falonmukha stage, will never fructify. That's why Krishna promises in the Gita, 18 chapter 66, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. If you give up everything and surrender to Krishna, what happens? Aham, Krishna says, promises openly, declares emphatically, Tvama Sarva Papebhyo Mokshyashyami Masucha. Do not fear, I'll take care of all your sinful reactions. The process of surrendering to Krishna in Kali Yuga is to simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then you will start experiencing the bliss. You don't have to be under a palatial building. You don't have to have a car. You don't have to have a great family or whatever the world sets as pleasurable, happiness-giving items to be actually happy. When you're within happy by experiencing the bliss of Krishna consciousness, the external doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you should not endeavor for material pursuits or your welfare of your family or your own self, material goals, nothing wrong in it. But whether you are a poor materially or rich materially, if you are Krishna conscious, you will not be affected by the upheavals of the material world. Difficulties may come, challenges may come, whether you are poor or rich, but you will unaffected by it. Your happiness ever increases when you are engaged in devotional service. Generally, we perform pious activity or impious activities is because of ignorance. Because of ignorance, we perform sin. Avidya kama karma. Avidya means ignorance. Kama means material desires. We perform sinful activities or pious activities because of ignorance. But when we understand the purpose and goal of life, that transcendental devotionals is the topmost way to eradicate all these things. When you pursue that goal, then you the ignorance goes off, and in the transcendental Vidya platform, knowledge platform, you act properly. And that act is based on the guidance given by Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. When we tread the path of devotional service based on these 3 directives, then we live a path. Just like Arjuna was fighting for Krishna, on behalf of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. On the contrary, Duryodhana was also fighting. He was fighting for himself, for his self-aggrandizement, for his gratification. Hence, he had to suffer. Arjuna, although he was healing, he was glorified, he is talked about, he is appreciated, discussed even today because he followed the Krishna's instruction. Another classical example, an army personnel, he goes to the war field on the order of the government of respective country, government of India, he shoots, kills dreaded terrorist, and the government awards him the highest gallantry award, Paramveer Chakra. And the same army personnel, defense personnel comes back home as a tiff with his family members, shoots his wife, children's dead. The same, the government will court-martial him. One killing gets you gallantry award, another killing gets you behind the bars. So you have to get authorization from the government to do what is to be done. In the same way, our lives has to be regulated, monitored under the direction of Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. Then only we'll experience the real transcendental happens, irrespective of what is in our package. And that art and science of doing an action is called bhakti or Krishna consciousness. This is the first point which you all have to understand. Okay? Materially, our happiness and distress is destined. You cannot undo it. You cannot change it. But being in devotional service, those things which are happening based on our karma will not affect. In fact, the karma burns. When karma burning happens because of our devotional service, that can completely eliminated and we enjoy unlimited bliss, irrespective of what happening in our life, even in this, even in the next. So that is the art of devotional service, which all of us need to perform. That is the secret of success. And to go further, generally we understand that I want a happiness. I want to be happy means we misunderstand happiness to be pleasure. Now, to get that instant kick, I go for pleasure-making journey. The pleasure for my sensor, pleasure for my body, pleasure for my mind, pleasure for my intellect. There are many ways to experience pleasure. But that pleasures has a beginning and an end. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that pleasure which is nectar in the beginning, material pleasures, we mistake it to be happiness, is nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end. On the contrary, spiritual life apparently seems to be poison in the beginning, but nectar in the end. Sometimes people ask, most of us ask, and all devotees would have come across this, when we go and meet people. Today also there were students from university in Australia who had come to visit our Akshaya Patra campus and temple. The students asked me a question. So what's your daily activities would be? How are you engaged whole day? Then when I gave, we start our day early in the morning by 4 o'clock, we hit bed at 9:30, 10, and throughout the day we have our meditation, we have our chanting of the mantras, we have our aarti, we have our sacred food consumption, prasadam, we have different devotional services. And went on to say, basically I could see what is this kind of a life what this monk is living. Oh, he has to forgo the pleasures of going to a movie, forgo the pleasures of being with his family. Then I immediately clarified. Recently I was with my family, I went home. Of course, at times we can go home and they can come, we have good exchanges. Or apparently from their general materialist skill, you cannot watch a movie, you cannot go out for eating, or you cannot travel to places except your dhams or places of pilgrimage. So basically they felt that they would generally feel that they're missing something, what we are enjoying. But eventually, those who are my friends, recently I happened to meet them when I went to Bangalore and Mangalore, who were with me during my college times. Now they are settled up in life, working in some companies. And when I heard their story, and that was even more painful. And they realized that, bro, what you've done is amazing, heads off, what you've done is excellent. This is real enjoyment what you're doing, because he happened to be Krishna conscious during my college times, and so when he again touched the bliss of Krishna conscious, he understood what generally they are leading is hackneyed, repetitive, impleasurable, typical material life. So that takes hitting. Not generally everyone will get it. It'll take time for that to happen. But because we are in Krishna consciousness, you can really feel that. Not that we have to be perfect in Krishna consciousness, you become a pure devotee of the Lord, then you get that kick of happiness or pleasure which has no end or unlimited kind of a bliss. No, not necessary. Even while practicing, even while pursuing it, the kind of happiness and bliss you get. Now 2024 January, 2004 January, 2003 January, I came in touch with Krishna consciousness. 2004 January, I started chanting 16 notes of Hare Krishna. Today it is close to 20 years of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 notes every single day. The same Rama, the same Krishna, the same Hare. But the kind of pleasure and happiness we draw when chanting those names is unparalleled. If you just by even chanting mindfully, forget about soulfully or the attentive chanting, even the simply chanting the mantra. And if what to speak, if you hear the mantra and chant and soulfully chant, the bliss will be unending. Even then. So you don't have the idea that spiritualists or monks or monasteries people are there. There's something missing in their life. Maza nahi hai, but it's actually a false. The bliss and happiness, the challenges what we go through, taking spiritual strides, is blissful in every extent. Oh, initially, of course, you have this jaundice disease, and the nectarian sugarcane juice also would feel bitter. But eventually, if you continue to tread the path of the Krishna consciousness, chant your rounds, follow the principles, be in association of devotees, whatever you're doing, and when you do it for the Lord, the pleasure is on a different scale, the anand is on a different scale, the kick is on a different scale, and that is the secret of happiness. Because you are made like that. Mama Ivamsho, Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all living entities, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Our design, our make, our manufacture, our constitution is that we are eternal servants of Krishna. Jiva Swarupa Hoye, Nityara Krishna Dasa, eternal servant of Krishna. As long as we act on this platform, in this constitution, we can never be happy. The problem is we are not acting on that platform. We are acting on the bodily platform, which we are not. This is the third secret. The problem we are not getting happiness is because we are acting on the bodily platform. Now, pleasure in the beginning, material pleasure, say for example, a porn, it gives you a kick. You don't have to go through the austerities of rising early in the morning, doing tapasya or doing some austerities, penances to get that kick, or work hard to be a celebrity or to be a cricketer, a lot of money to get that happiness, to be satisfied. Correct? No tapasya, instantly you're gratified, but it comes at a cost. After that, you're guilty, you're hopeless, you're feeling empty, you're not satisfied. Nectar in the beginning, it gives a dopamine kick, but at a cost. Nothing comes free in life. Or you just take, for example, these days, thanks to app-based food aggregators, you have Zomatos and Swiggis and nearby uncles and chachas who would get you fast food made just like that. The best of the chemicals combined in such a way, the sugar and the salty added in such a way, allured with tasty short ads. You go for it. Instantly, yummy, momos, pizzas, burgers, sandwiches. But nectar in the beginning, and then eventually you get lifestyle diseases. You make the pharma industry grow exponentially, and you suffer at the cost of your health. Correct? Later, poisonous. You have cancer, you have bowel issues, you can't sleep, you have lifestyle diseases, diabetes, capital of the world, India, capital of diabetes in India, Ahmedabad for you. Welcome. समझ में आ रहा है? So initially, nectar, maza, instant gratification. But later, saza. On the contrary, spiritual life, initially it seems to be poison. But actually, Krishna consciousness has been made so wonderfully by the acharyas. You dance, you feast, you render devotional service, you thrill. And take adventurous challenges of preaching the message of Krishna consciousness, the message which nobody wants to. That's a challenge which you want to take it up. Youngsters, Gen Zs, you want that challenge. Go take up this challenge. You become Krishna conscious, you understand the principles of spiritual life, and then take up the challenge of spreading this. And that's a kick. And it's joyfully done. We start our day with singing, dancing, feasting. Goes in the afternoon also, evening also, and throughout the day engage in service of the Lord. And the pleasure. Krishna reciprocates. Because our design is like that. We are made like that. We are part and parcel of the Lord. Just like the hand is part and parcel of the Lord, my body has to be, is connected with the hand in such a way that the hand has no other option. Literally no other option other than serving me. It serves me, I am satisfied, my stomach is satisfied, it gets the nourishment. Every nook and corner of my body is pampered, taken care because of this one act of feeding the food to the body. Correct? My design is like that. I am made like that. My makeup is like that. Similarly, I am repeating this. Our make is, I am eternal servant of Krishna. Unless and until we act on that platform, happiness is a far reality. But when you act on that platform, you are in a rightful situation. Be in that situation because you are Krishna's Ansha, you are spirit soul. But you are not acting on a spiritual platform, on a soul platform. You are acting on a bodily platform. That is the reason you are not getting happiness, what you deserve, what you wanted. Now, the third important aspect, most of you know, Krishna starts the Bhagavad Gita after this. After hearing from Arjuna all the argument, he gives n number of arguments why he doesn't want to fight. He gives so many moral reasons, ethical reasons, fundamental reasons, genuine reasons, heartfelt reasons why he is not fighting. He doesn't want to fight. And he gave up his bow and arrow and said, I'll not fight. But he surrenders to Krishna and said, boss, you're my friend, but I don't want to talk like a friendly person, because in your friendly nature, you will not get to the conclusions. Then he voluntarily agrees to be the disciple of Krishna and surrenders to Krishna. Sishyasthyam sadimam taprapanna. Then Krishna smiles at his dearmost friend, because friend has become a subservient and asking questions, surrenders to him. He says, I'm confused. Please enlighten me. Then Krishna smilingly says, the first instruction, tolerate. Second instruction, you are not the body. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muyyati. As an embodied soul continually passes from childhood to youthhood to old age, similarly, the soul at death passes from one body to another body and goes on giving reason, evidence, and shastric references to prove to the point that you are not the body, you are spirit soul, and spirit soul keeps changing the body, just like we change our dresses as and when the dresses becomes incompatible or torn out or worn out, or no, you have to wash it up, wear a new dress. Similarly, the body also will be changed by the soul when it becomes unfit and useless for the soul to live in. You don't understand this. I'll give you a simple, very common story which I generally narrate. Say, for example, the husband, the rich merchant with 4 wives. Yeah. The fourth wife, the merchant had, the rich man had, was a pampered wife. The wife, whatever she asked, he would never say no to her request. You want Apple 16 Pro Plus Max? Done. You want a chartered plane to go to Dubai for shopping? Done. You name it, she has it. He used to love her like anything. 4th wife. He had a 3rd wife, exceptionally beautiful. Beautiful in the sense, you put all the Hollywood actress and Bollywood actress and all the Woods actors combined together cannot match the beauty of this wife of this rich merchant. He used to flaunt her beauty. He used to take her to different parties and show off her as his wife. His reels, his social media will be in millions because thanks to his beautiful wife. But he had this one doubt, one fear. What if she bloops with someone else or detests me? But nevertheless, she was really gorgeous. And he had a 2nd wife too. And this wife with beauty, she carried brains and she was empathetic, loving, caring, full of warmth and joy. She was always there when chips were down. Behind every successful man, there's a woman. That kind of a personality. That was 2nd wife for you, that is merchant. And the 1st wife, probably after marriage, he had hardly seen her, neglected, hardly taken out for a date night or a movie night, or even has a probably where she's now. He doesn't even know that he's married to the 1st wife. It so happened that because of his lifestyle and enemies, he was diagnosed with a deadly disease. He was a guest in this world for a few more days, and he was on the deathbed, wondering what would happen in the future. So when I was staring at the fan, a thought struck his mind. He wanted his wife to come along with him to the next life. And he called up his 1st wife, whom he had never said no to any of her request, and said, now I'm going, I don't want to travel alone. I have given everything what you wanted, never said no to your request. I just want one thing from you, one humble request is that, can you join me with my journey? Will you accompany with me for the next life? Will you come along with me? He was expecting that a positive response would turn up. but there was a dead silence and she just walks off. It was so painful for him. Devastating. उसको कभी ना नहीं कहा लाइफ में उस बंदे ने, लेकिन as usual she just walks off. Pain exponentially grown. Already was about to die, quit his life. Again this happened. Then he was hopeful that no, he has another wife, the third one. She calls the third one and request the same question, will you join me? She says, I'm sorry, I would go away with someone. And mentions his name also and says, thank you for what I've done, but I'm sorry, I'll not be able to make it. Oh, that was thrashing his heart from all sides. Cold hearted. Arrows piercing from all across the body. He lost whole hopes and started crying like a baby. And looked at the second wife, finally hoping that this wife of mine was there always throughout my life, hoping that even after my life she would accompany me. Repeated the same question, and as expected from the second wife, the answer was yes. He had a glee and a smile and was hoping to be satisfied, but then it was short-lived. Wife said, conditions apply. Yes, I would come, but till the graveyard, not more than that. It was over. Death was waiting to happen. But he heard the feeble sound from the first wife whom he had hardly seen and nurtured or loved. She said, I would come along with you. So anyways, this was an allegory story to cut short, final message. We also have these 4 wives in our lives. The question is, who is the 4th wife whom we never say no to any of the requests made by that wife, but would be the first one to ditch and go away from our life? Think. Ponder. Answer is, the 4th wife who would ditch us and go at time of our death is our body. Throughout our life, whatever the body demanded, water, food, shelter, warmth, clothes, medicines, gym, bathing, what not, never said no to his request. We go to extra mile to fulfill that. But when death comes, he is the one to first quit the battlefield and run away. But see, the whole world is running on this false understanding of the body, and pampering my body is the best. But when death comes, he's the guy who leaves you. And who's the 3rd wife? Exceptionally beautiful, but will be enjoyed by someone else when you die. She goes with someone else. Who's that? What is that in our life? Think. सोचो. कौन है वो? बहुत ही सुंदर है. Used to flaunt her, but कोई और लेके चली जाएगी. कौन है वो? That is our money, our riches, our wealth, our property. कितना फ्लॉन्ट करते थे, कितना दिखावा करते थे, कितना मेहनत किया, पढ़ाई किया 15-20 साल, पैसे कमाए, चीटिंग किया. बट जब मौत आया, जब कोविड चल रहा था, बहुत पैसा था, एक रूम तक नहीं मिला, एक इंजेक्शन तक नहीं मिला, वैक्सीन लगवाए थे 4-4, कुछ काम के नहीं थे, जाना था, कुछ पैसे काम का रद्दी बन के रह गया. Is it not? And the second wife, who would come maximum till the graveyard. स्मशान घाट तक आ सकती है. कौन है वो? कौन है वो आपके लाइफ में भी? कौन हो सकता है जो स्मशान घाट तक आ सकता है मैक्सिमम, उससे आगे नहीं आ सकते. वो हमेशा थे आपके साथ, आपके हेल्प करते थे. थर्ड वाइफ, आई मीन सेकेंड वाइफ. हमारे लाइफ में भी वो सेकेंड वाइफ के रोल कोई निभाता है. कौन है वो? सोचो. मैक्सिमम स्मशान घाट तक. आजकल वो भी नहीं आते. कोविड के टाइम में तो कोई नहीं आ पाया था, आपको अकेला जाना था. आपकी खुद की मम्मी पापा वाइफ बच्चे आपकी शक्ल देख नहीं पाए. आवर रिलेटिव्स, आवर फैमिली मेंबर्स, जिसके लिए कितना प्यार किया आपने, कितना आप जानते हैं. लेकिन क्या कर सकते हैं हम मैक्सिमम. आजकल वो भी नहीं करते. RIP, ओम शांति, वो भी नहीं डालते. श्राद्ध तो दूर की बात है. लेकिन जो आपके साथ आएगा, जिसको आपने हमेशा नेग्लेक्ट किया है, जिसको थोड़ा सा भी आपने प्यार नहीं दिया, थोड़ा सा भी खाना नहीं खिलाया, वो लास्ट में बता रही है मैं आपके साथ आऊंगी. कौन है वो? सोचो, बताओ. एंड दैट इज द आत्मा, द सोल, द स्पिरिट सोल, who we are. So in life, the most important thing is to take care of the spirit. That's why there's a saying in English, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main. For all Krishna conscious followers, the folks who are hearing this, or others who are hearing this, we are spirit soul, take care of the spirit. You may take care of the car, you may service it properly, sparkling clean, but you fail to feed food to the driver. Or you may heard of the story of a parrot, a talking parrot. The queen who had that parrot pampered the parrot with the best of the luxury. She was keeping it in her personal room, spending personally the time, polishing the cage and taking care of her, spending hours together. But eventually it passed away. It was dead, gone. Because she pondered, she figured out eventually that she failed to feed the parrot. She had given all the comforts under the sky, but the most important thing, she failed to feed. When she realized that, you cannot get the parrot back, which was dearmost of her. Example, the story which you remember. Similarly, the food for the soul is Krishna consciousness. So unless and until we feed that, the happiness will be far from reality. We'll be engrossed in the kleshas of Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika kleshas. But for a devotee who knows the secret of happiness to be in devotional service, these kleshas will not affect him, will not touch him. And that is the art and science of and commerce of being happy, Krishna consciousness. I hope I revealed the secret. I implore all of you to know the secret, practice the secret, so you can be happy and blissful in your life. Thank you so much for patiently hearing. To conclude, the essence, we are spirit soul. Unless you act on the spiritual platform, you can never be happy. You should know the sensual pleasure is poison in the beginning, but nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end. On the contrary, spiritual seems to be poison in the beginning, but actually nectar. That Ambudhi Vardhanam, ocean of happiness, only increases in spiritual life. And third thing is, you should know the principle of law of karma, that you will get what you deserve. But when you do practice devotional service, all the papa bija and karma punya bijas are burned, and you will be eternally engaged in devotional service. That's how we are made, and that's our nature. And we go back home, back to God, and be eternally happy with the Supreme Lord. Even while pursuing that spiritual path in the material world, still will be happy. And after that, when you go back, it is anyways happiness always, eternally. Unlimited, uninterrupted, everlasting happiness. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.